Thanks for joining me for this video. In today's video, I want to talk about something called the Oedipal complex. That is when there's emotional incest that occurs between a child and their parent. That's for the boy, and then for the girl it's called the Electra complex. And there's a lot of information online about this that you can read, but here I want to summarize and maybe shed some new light on the subject. Now, the overall creation of this injury is quite unfortunate because it's perpetuated from one generation to the next. What happens is when a couple gets together and have a child, if the relationship between the two people are not fulfilled, or the person in the relationship cannot meet their own needs, and so instead of having this interdependent relationship between the husband and the wife, or the father and the mother, what happens is when the child is born, the parent starts to get their emotional needs fulfilled through the child. Now, this often happens when there could be stress in the family. There could be a situation where let's say the father is not emotionally available and the mother needs emotional fulfillment. It could also be in reverse, where the mother is so the father is using the daughter to emotionally fulfill his own needs. Now again, this happens for these parents because they themselves never got their needs met through their parents, and so this empty space of unmet needs is perpetuated from one generation to the next, creating injury through intergenerational patterns. So the way this can look is that let's say if it's a boy, and the mother, it seems like, would be a little too close to the child. So the mother would be kind of like enmeshment, which is when the mother is overly indulgent in expressing her love to this child, but the love has an underlying sense of it's not really for the child. It's more of has a feeding quality to it. So it's almost like the mom is getting fulfilled by expressing this love. Also, what's important to understand is that the child doesn't really want this type of love, and in particular. So it's almost like it becomes almost like a drug. So the addiction between the mother and the child of exchanging this love between each other, and at some point the child will start to feel like it wants to individuate, it wants to separate, and this is going to be very challenging for the mother. And what happens is the mother starts to guilt the child to keep the child within her grasps so she can continue to get her needs met. And this essentially creates an avoidant child, because connection is associated with trauma. So and also what's very difficult is that anytime the child wants to individuate, this child starts to feel extreme guilt. And so oftentimes as the child grows up to be an adult, this man will start to feel guilty, will attract an anxiously attached woman with a lot of needs, similar to his mother, but he's going to feel extreme amount of guilt, kind of separating, living his own life, and also he won't have a lot of tolerance to being in connection. So similar to the female version of this, where the daughter is too close to the father. So this could be in a situation where, let's say, the wife or the mother is emotionally cold and distant. And the father has some injuries around having a cold mother and having these unfulfilled needs. And now you've got this little girl who's in love with you. And so it's very tempting to be seduced by that love and have a little love affair between the daughter and the father. And on one hand, it may look innocent, but it's extremely detrimental to the child, especially when she grows up. For both the male and the female version of this, the children, as they grow up, they have this idea, the trauma, what creates is this demand for love, that they should be loved, which puts a tremendous amount of pressure on any partner that they attract into their life. And of course they're unfulfilled because nobody is good enough. No one can be perfect, and that's what they're looking for, is for perfection. And they don't really have a lot of tolerance to accept people as they are, and partially they don't really accept themselves. And so the other part of this that is really sad is that when the child and the parent have this incestuous emotional relationship, it creates a separation from the other parent. So for example, if the mother is in this enmeshed relationship with her son, the father is going to feel pushed out or rejected or in competition with the son. And so what it does is it creates a separation between the son and the father, which is an essential part of development for a male boy, for a male child. And what happens is this boy starts to feel, first of all, he feels superior to his father in some ways because his mother chose him. So now he's in this competition with his father. His father is bigger than him, so he also feels threatened, often threatened by his father. And so it's kind of like becomes a secret. And when he grows up, he probably most likely will have female friends and have a hard time making male friends. And when he does make male friends, most likely is going to attract situations where he's going to be attracted to to these men's girlfriends, and fall into these emotional relationships with these women. And then these men who are sensing this, who are feeling this, are now going to get angry and project violence possibly towards this man, which is a rejection, basically, this man from the masculine tribe. So it creates a lot of problems for the guy, because it creates a lot of confusion. He seems like he may not really connect with men, or have a difficult time relaxing with men. He may be afraid of men and lean towards the women, but also not be satisfied, emotionally satisfied, sexually satisfied, because now he's in this friendship, emotional support dynamic, codependence dynamic with women, because that's what he was taught as a child. And so for the female version of this, similar things can happen. So she can be in competition with her girlfriends, for example. She doesn't understand why she has certain conflicts. If she has a partner, it could be that she could feel that other women may want to steal him from her, or her girlfriends feel that she might want to steal their boyfriends. So all of this is kind of becoming a bit of a mess, where instead of this healthy dynamic where mom and dad has a child, the child is developing, they both express love and nurturance and protection towards the child and connection towards the child. And then as the child starts to grow, and if it's a male child, the male child will lean towards the mother and fall in love with the mother. But at some point, the mother has to create a boundary and say, my dear boy, I love you, but I'm not for you. I belong to dad. And you one day will find a girl, a woman who is going to be your partner. And so that frees him from this obligation to be in this relationship with the mother and start to long for his partner, and that's going to be a healthy dynamic. And same thing with the woman. So with the little girl that falls in love with her father and then desires his love, and eventually he has to put a boundary and like say, I belong to mom, and you're going to have a man one day who's going to love you and you're going to love him, and that's going to be your partner, right? So the parents need to resist the seduction of this child and really learn to meet their own needs, and also meet each other's needs as well, to be partners with each other, so that whatever issues they have or whatever unfulfilled needs they have, that they are meeting that through themselves or through each other. One other thing is really important to understand is when this child grows up, the amount of demands, there could be a potential narcissistic pattern for this child, and there's a lot of demands towards their partner. And something that's really important to understand is that no one is obligated to love you. Love is unconditional. So it's important to feel through the demand towards others to love you. And honestly, it's more like a tantrum. So one thing you can do is you can lay down on a bed, especially when you feel unsatisfied with your partner or with the fact that you can't find the perfect person for yourself. You lay down on the mattress and you start hitting your arms and kicking your legs and literally throw a tantrum of demanding this person to come and save you from your loneliness, to fulfill you, to fulfill all your needs, and then probably have a good cry. Have a good cry of sadness that you feel underneath, because honestly, the injury is immense, and it's a very young, early injury. So please be gentle with yourself. If you find this in your partner, please be gentle with them. You don't have to meet this unreasonable demand to be loved. But if you find yourself with a partner who does this, projects this demand towards you, most likely that you've attracted this partner for a reason. And one of the things you may want to explore is the demand you felt in yourself, the demand to love another. Because often this Oedipal complex, they attract each other. And then when they have children, the mother usually has an Oedipal relationship with her son, and then the father has an Electra type relationship with his daughter, which is very unfortunate. So I want to leave you with this. Love is unconditional. The trauma is very early, and it creates a lot of confusion. So please be gentle with yourself, and find ways to express this energy that you feel inside of yourself, this demand, this expectation, and spend time and heal this child inside of you that has confusion, that has anger, that has despair, loneliness. I hope this video helps you on some level to get some clarity, as there's so much confusion around this subject. And if you want more content, please subscribe to my channel. If you would like to get more information on how to reach me directly, you can go to my website at energizeyourcore.com, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.